And greetings, everybody. I am Commander Yannick, and we are here sitting at a lovely nav beacon in an anarchy system, waiting to pounce on some unsuspecting NPCs. But how you doing out there? Hope you're all good. What's everyone up to today? At the moment, this is going to be, at least to start with, a materials collection mission from destroyed ships. But yeah, there's going to be some ne'er-do-wells and yeah, maybe other ships that have caught in the melee, but here we go. This anarchy system, there isn't really actually any policing going on, so it's just really everyone for themselves, NPC or otherwise. It's all good, it's all good. As we all say. Grinding discoveries. Yeah, that's good. That's a good start to the day. How quickly I can actually dismantle another ship, but I'm fairly well armed, I suppose, so it's a good sort of PvE ship, this, and he gets him straight in the face. It's a good start. Oh, how fun. I don't consider myself to be, by any stretch of the imagination, a brilliant combat pilot. I'm okay at PvE. Not really got that much PvP experience. It's very minimal, what stuff I do have. And basically I've already deployed to the limpet, so it's basically they're flying away to get the remains of whatever unlucky ship I just boiled into smithereens. That's just the way it is around here. Wait till the limpets catch up. But yeah, as the stream suggests, today is the giveaway for Horizons and the Elite Dangerous base game. They basically come as like a pair now. You don't have to then get them separately. If you order like one, you get the other. So it's now like Horizons and the base game, almost like the new base game, as it were. But that's all fine. That's all good. I can't complain. But yeah, if anyone wants to enter that, I'll be doing so a little bit later in the stream. The giveaway. I hope I actually set the software up for this correctly, because I've never actually done an online giveaway before like this. That involves just, yeah. But still, there's a first time for everything. Actually, I did give away stuff at an expedition before, but that was more like a judging, screenshots. I'm not doing that today. The only criteria today is please follow the stream, because it is free and it helps everyone. Was that ship dead? I thought I just killed it. It's coming back for more. Silly sod. Can I say sod on the stream? I have no idea. It's kind of borderline, that one. I think I said that for PvE, like the optimum is probably pulse lasers. I tried an all pulse laser array, and it's alright. I don't mind it. I kind of personally find like the combination of pulse laser and multi-cannon kind of more effective, at least more satisfying anyway. But yeah. Oh come on, why don't you just die? That's better. Thank you. How's the grinding going then, Kit? Have discovered anything interesting of late? as always, unsurprisingly, being an explorer, I don't find exploration really that much of a grind. I mean, everything can become grindy under certain circumstances. But yeah, you've got to give yourself a variety. But then again, that's why alternate accounts exist. So you can have one out there in the black exploring, another one maybe in Colonia or the Bubble, or wherever, really. So I'm being hit by my own limpets in the face. How funny. The question of how quickly these NPCs will last, usually. Okay, some are higher caliber than others, some of them are a bit more intelligent than others, but yeah, they certainly got a little bit harder over. I think they ramped up the AI a bit on these. Not like hard, but they're definitely harder anyway. They once were. Especially the elite ones. I'm gonna bore you up. Yeah, they're very limited sort of vocabulary, these NPCs. Very unimaginative. And it goes pop. Pop goes the weasel. Remember that nursery rhyme? Maybe it's a bit far out, that one. I'll leave that. Okay, what other stuff do we have to make mincemeat from, out of, etc.? So the question, shall I bother targeting this one or not? I was hunting for Earth-like worlds. Yeah, I know the feeling. I think Earth-like worlds, water worlds, even ammonia worlds are some of the more interesting ones to seek out. Obviously, it's a good amount of money you get from the Earth-like world scanner as well. Obviously, you're targeting the right system's kind of critical for Earth-like world hunting. But even then, you sometimes find them in quite strange places. Like, sometimes like neutron stars, and like, how does that happen? Seems a little bit improbable, but there you go. You know, the bigger ships are so much better targets. That's the advantage of a small ship, isn't it? It's just a small target. That's another reason that people love the FDL so much and PvP players. It's because of the fact that it is actually only a medium-sized ship. It's not a massive target, but it is very fast and very well armed, so fair play. So today I'm not getting anything for bounty hunting. I'm just literally boiling things up to get materials from them, really. It's an anarchy system, so it matters literally not one iota what I'm doing. Gotta keep those collectors going. Who flies a shieldless ship in the middle of melee like that anyway? It's all very weird. Very hard to understand. I'm going to actually come to a halt for a second so I can get up all those lovely materials. So you've got some good stuff here. Chemical process in particular, chemical manipulators, etc. I can't really complain. Okay. Some ways I probably should start taking bets when Kit is actually going to overtake Jiggy von Richthofen for the #1 starred explorer in the galaxy. Because it's between those two, it's pretty much a straight fight these days. I don't think Jiggy actually uploads as frequently as Kit does to EDSM, but they're both in competition for the title is who is the greatest. This in terms of like pure numbers of systems first discovered we're talking about here. That one single measure of greatness. There are other measures of greatness, no doubt, but that's a pretty good one. The sort of raw measure of exploration, sort of reach, I suppose, really, and how many systems you've actually first discovered. I'm still in the top 100 somewhere. Of that, like, was it 80 something at the moment? I must admit, I've not been exploring outside on this account very much recently. That will change, I think, once Odyssey drops, but Odyssey proper, that is, not the alpha. Come on, Mr. FDL, you know you want to. Aha, yes, here we go. It's like when I can ram them straight in the face. That's makes my life so much easier in combat as well. This is a great rammer of a ship. Not as great as a cutter in that regard, but it's still pretty good. Still fun. I'm not exactly using the optimum tactics here either. I'm not going for, like, you know, FA off maneuvers, anything like that. If I was having a serious opposition, I probably would start doing that, but at the moment it doesn't really seem necessary. So, like, why bother, really? I'm only here for the easy hits. Well, not or full stop easy. Some of them are not so easy. Well, most of them are relatively straightforward. This is the thing, I never actually done combat that consistently all the time. Because, yeah, it's more interesting to me, obviously, than mining is, but it's another one of those things that sort of, yeah, I do it, but I wouldn't consider myself an expert at it by any means. Right, collecting the materials. Let's see who else and what else is in the system. All around the nav beacon, more accurately. Okay. Hey there, Daddy D-Gen, how's it going? For some reason, the auto mod actually held your message there for a second, Kit. I have no idea why. There's nothing dubious about it in the slightest. I think it's a bit overzealous, if you ask me. I had to do something about the auto mod. Yeah, it seems a bit weird. Oh well. Welcome to everyone who's just joined the stream. I'm Commander Yannick, and we are here harvesting materials at the nav beacon in Nanaki system. which is always good fun. A bit of sort of PvE combat. Hey Emil, happy Friday to you as well. It's interesting to see about Kit, your estimate and extrapolation of Chiki's discoveries. So yeah, well, I hope that you will overtake him. There's good competition for this, but that's the thing. It's still all to play for. Ooh, pirate massacre missions. That sounds fun. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I've heard people are doing this, about doing that many sort of massacre missions and what have you. I've done them before, but not huge numbers at the same time. This is the thing, is obviously if you can... I think that people doing massacre missions in groups seems to be quite a fun activity. Getting people sort of participate in these... I think anything in a group really can be fun. Even mining in a group can actually be quite a lot of fun. But combat takes on an extra sort of, you know, zest, I suppose, when you've got all the people playing with you. See if I can get this guy before he jumps. He's turned, so he's not going to jump where I thought he was. Haha. He's turned to face me this time. Yeah. Everything about my combat here is pretty much optimized to like material collecting. I'm not really combating, you see what I mean? Aha, got him. Oh, it's all fun. Yeah, no, I thought that's the case about stacking them. Yeah, exactly. Massacre missions, that is stacking. Yeah, this is the thing. You tend to learn the management of that by doing it a certain amount. But it's definitely worthwhile, yeah. They say you can be quite a good little learner at that. I think combat generally is in like non-massacre mission, but like just off-the-cuff combat like this pays better than it used to. And obviously there's got a bit of a buff there in the, you know, the last year. It still doesn't pay brilliantly as much as you would think, 'cause it's the most risky thing you can do in the game, but, you know, better than it was anyway. You get a little bit from doing this. But yeah, it's not lucrative as much as, say, some of the stacked massacre missions, not as much as obviously doing mining of the sort of top substances. Yeah, exactly. Everything about this is optimized for material collection. See what other materials I be collecting today. Collective components, good. Salvage allies. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here for future engineering. I think especially with like suit engineering is going to be a thing for Odyssey. I know a few people who are also starting to collect materials because of Odyssey, and so am I as well. Some of the ships over here. See what they have to offer. Or not. Flying an unshielded, you know, eagle seems a little bit risky. That's an understatement, really, but I'm going to pick him off at a distance. It's not really that far away, but distance as far as my weapons are concerned. I know long-range weapons you can shoot someone to the teeth at about 6 or 7 kilometers. Oh, hello, Andrew Linson, aka Kit Ostland. Nice to see you. That's why I thought I'd actually keep myself in fleet comms. Anyone wants to drop in, they can. It's interesting how the allied ships are actually highlighted, so I suppose you don't actually kind of blow them up in the same way. But I think, you know, it's not the fact they are, but it's the way they do it. It's quite cool. So it's kind of subtle, but active. Ooh, it was close. Some formation flying there. Right. Got a nice anaconda to deal with. Take him down. Should really be like module targeting, but I'm not really doing that at the moment. Take down the anaconda. Come on. Yeah, it's interesting talking about like Hazres hunting like that, because obviously that's one way of doing it. This is the thing. I think a lot of the best stuff when it comes down to weaponry, it's very much depending on what you want to do and who you're targeting and what your own personal preferences are, because everyone seems to have a slightly different preference for a combination of weapons. It's depending if you're like PvE, PvP, or even within those things, about what you actually enjoy doing, you know. Ooh, we've got a friend request in game. Oh, it's not a friend request, it's a wing. That's okay, that's cool. Awesome. More deconfliction as well. Right. They seem a bit far away right now. Probably won't reach them. Okay, I think I'll leave those alone. Wait till I've actually scooped up all the materials. That's why I'm cruising around at about 30 at the moment. I'm not very fast, so just to let the Olympics do their work. Maybe the shield needs some recharging. Should I snipe him? I think so. I'm not really snipering him at a distance, am I? I'm just having a bit of a pop to see how he'll react. Most of them do seem to want to engage, which is interesting. I think anything to do with like group play is always fun, especially if you know the people who've known them before. That's particularly fun. But even sometimes with randoms, it can be quite fun as well. But yeah, it's all good. Yeah, got him before he got away. Oh, awesome. This is the thing with the Corvette. It is a very good PvE ship. PvP, probably not so much, but... Gentleman Overlord. Yeah. I don't think I actually have any shield, not shield boosters. Yeah, it's an interesting point about the sort of the different combination. I'm always intrigued to read about different people's setups, exploration, combat, or whatever. Because sometimes you learn something about, like, you know, the effectiveness of different combinations of weapons, particularly different engineering combinations. Because obviously there's so many permutations when it comes to, you know, with engineering with certain weapons. Oh, hey Falcon, how's it going? Got a good attendance this morning. Yeah, I think whether you're playing with other people, there's always that sense of purpose as well. It's not just the fact that you're flying with friends, but it's just that you're sort of all focused on a particular mission or doing a particular activity, and it definitely adds extra dimensions to the game. But as we've always said, that I think most people would agree that Elite has like the best community of any MMO or even any game that I've played for that matter. So yeah. Yeah, I think it's particularly if you're like taking on a whole bunch of enemies at the same time. It's all good fun, yeah. I like the paint job on your Corvette there, Andrew Linton. It's very, very bright. You can see that one miles away. Very literally. Waiting for the the various limpets to actually do their job before I get underway again. Yeah, it's true, Kettleston. We've scared them all away. How dare they? I don't know they come anywhere near us, but yeah. Some have reappeared now. We've got some more again. There's something nearby that isn't... or whoever, really. It doesn't really matter which one we hit. Yep. He'll do nicely. We're scanning me anyway, so, you know, ripe target if ever there was one. Which you get, like, point-blank range and then open fire with all weapons, you know. It's an old-fashioned tactic, but it's a good one. Okay, where are those other ships as well that we saw earlier? They've disappeared too. They're all scared, maybe. I don't know. Okay, my lovelies, collect all your various materials in while I slowly cruise around near the nav beacon. Just to see what there's out there. Mechanical components, photo, like, yeah, the usual good stuff, flawed focus crystals. Yeah, that's a good place for anyone who's actually wanting to get materials. Nav beacons are good places. Okay, normally you won't be able to shoot down everything like we're doing because it's a lawless system, so it doesn't really matter that much about what you're targeting. Just be very careful that you don't accidentally, shoot someone who isn't wanted in a normal system. Because that would be problematic, especially when the police get involved. It's awesome. You gotta laugh, really. Maybe we have scared them away. They've all gone. Oh, there's some more coming up here now. Oh, I see you've already found them, Andrew Linton, yeah. Cool, cool. Ah, they are running. Surge detected. They could not withstand us, so now they're flying away. Interesting it goes that shade with purple as well. Ah, it's disappeared. Back to square one. Back to the nav beacon itself. Okay. Is he gonna scan me? Huh, yes. I thought so. Another one bites the dust. Shame I can't actually use copyrighted music, because otherwise I could just I could put out little clips from that. Another one bites the dust. Well, it's a bit cliche, that one, I'm afraid, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Formation flying, formation combat. Never actually done that. That would be quite interesting, actual like formation combat. Whereas you could do that. You'd have to be fairly well coordinated though. Formation flying is one thing, but combat is something completely different. It's one of those things. The actual nav beacon itself is indestructible, I think, anyway. Can't blow it out of the stars. Cretin chip. That's an interesting name. Oh, it doesn't matter, because he's going to get blown up anyway. Yeah, it's not going to last long, is he? Good boost on that thing, though. Orcas tend to be like that. This one isn't very good, though. Unmodified Orca. Yeah, if you've got 2 Corvettes on your tail, you're not going to last very long as a PvE ship. Yep, I know the warnings about heat damage all too well. You get the fire concentrated as best I can. Okay, these ones haven't been scared away, but they're going to be destroyed pretty quickly. What treats do you carry? It's like, well, nothing for you. Definitely nothing for you. I'll slow down for my limpets to catch up. Say this is more of an expedition, or expedition is the right word, an outing to gain materials rather than a sort of combat fest in itself. It's nice to have company though. Makes everything so much easier. Actually, I'm going to come to a halt for a second and let the limpets do their work and catch up. There's no point in me being here if I don't actually let the limpets do their work. Oh, what's this over here? Good day, good sir. I wish to boil your spacecraft into pieces. That okay with you? Don't mind if I do. Some gold in your hold. Yeah. Some decoy material. That's a good idea, actually, you know. And some decoy pirating, you know. I think it's gold so easy to find these days. If you go mining, it's just like gold. It's like, it's not really worth that much, is it? Oh, he's trying to get away. Where's he going to come around again? Yeah, putting things in your hold that they will like is kind of more fun, but yeah. So it's like a juicy bait, really. Okay. Not him, then. Another dream of riches dashed. Well, can't have much of an imagination. I mean, have you seen my ship? It doesn't exactly, you know, come cheap, this one. How do you think I got it in the first place? No, I didn't get it by boiling people up in spacecraft. Some people do, but it wasn't really my thing. The surge, the surge. Yeah. I don't think I've got many choices right now. Squig Sop. Squig Bop, sorry, not so. Do I have a better target? I'm hoping so. Yeah, he seems like a good target. Okay, why would you fly that to shield, around these places? Even just generally speaking, even like, the most lame sort of explorer in terms of, like minimal, hull and what have you, sort of shield. Well, if you're wise anyway. A vanity shield, I think a lot of people refer to it as, when you have a shield that's kind of quite thin, but it'll do for like minor collisions and what have you. Okay, this one might be interesting. Probably undershielded actually for a crate, but there you go. It happens. The crate collection. Autumn and winter. Spring collection by now, I suppose, but yeah. Silver Rats. Interesting name. There's a lot of stuff flying around at the moment. I'm going to park for a second to let the limpets catch up again. Pardon me. Go with the external cam for a second. That's always a good shot. Gradually moving forward. Let's keep moving. When you're around the nav beacon, it was best to sort of gradually move back to the beacon, because obviously that's where the ships are going to come out of FSD drive into real space and then reorient themselves and jump off somewhere else as well. Or super cruise, whatever they were doing. You haven't really needed the heatsink so far. That's just a case of obviously a fairly strong overloading. These are taking a while to get anything done. Distances are probably quite large. Maybe I should fly this way to see what happens. Got quite a few collectors going. I think it's like 4 limpets at once at the moment. What size control I've actually got on this thing? Mm, 7A. So yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. It's one of the best ones you can get. What am I talking about? Naturally. Okay, the cargo's all yours. Most of them aren't that sensible, though. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm going to park myself for a moment. View the sights of the nav beacon and Commander Linton blowing stuff up. Thing is, with all the materials, at least you can always trade them. That's the thing. If you can get your way to a material trader. Brass trail. Okay. Kills while stationary. Nice. Do what you gotta do. Beyond my range now, I'm afraid. They escaped anyway. Huh. We have scared them off. They always come in waves, though, seriously. Yeah. Thing is, if you notice, the NPC's behaviour doesn't seem to change that much, whether you've got gold in your hold or it was like, you know, bio waste. It's like basically they're always interested in whatever it is. Like, you had the most worthless junk in the entire galaxy and they would still think it was as interesting as you're carrying, like, you know, 100 tons of paynite. I think they need to maybe work on the sort of NPC's reactions a little bit. I mean, I know the AI is never going to be sort of, you know, amazing, but a bit more realistic than that. Do you remember there used to be those missions, I think? There were some, like, smuggling ones a few years ago between, like, Rubigo and the Bubble. And it's like you're basically, like, taking 100 tons of bio waste to the Bubble for, like, exorbitant amounts of money, like 20 million or something like that. And people would attack you for it and try and steal it from you. It's like, why are you trying to steal human waste in the middle of deep space? It makes no sense. But you know, they're going to give me the money for it. It's like, why the hell not? You know. What else was I going to do? I think one of the funniest things I've ever seen in Elite is that. Hand over your bio waste. Like, willingly, yeah. Take it, you know. More the fool who paid me 20 million credits to ship 200 tons, whatever is 100 tons of human excrement halfway across the galaxy. Okay, I exaggerate for humour, but, you know. As you do. Okay, Mr. Explorer. Mr. Aspect Explorer, I should say. Uh-huh. There you go. Yeah, I was going to say, one of the better equipped or better armed Viper 3s do tend to be quite small targets. They're not always easy to hit, but if you've got the right weaponry, it's not too problematic. I think I call this kind of material hunting like kill and collect, really. That's kind of what you're doing, really. Hello to anyone who's just joined in the stream. I am Commander Yannick, and here we are at a nav beacon in Anarchy system, shooting out various spacecraft for all kinds of engineering materials, really. And having fun while doing it, in the company of Commander Linton here. Yeah, if you're new to the stream and like what you see, please give me a follow. It does a world of good for the channel, and support is always happily received. He's somewhat out of range, that guy. I think I'll just have to leave him be. This one is not out of range, so I'm not going to let him be. To rearm in a second. Just synth out the materials. So we're trying to get people when the surge detector thing comes on, because you don't know how long you've got before they jump. Probably not very long. Right, synth is a good idea right now. Yeah, I'll just do a fairly standard synth. I could put the other ones, but I say I'm not really too bothered. I'm only doing some basic PvE work here. I think that's one of the things about playing Odyssey Alpha the other day, is like not realizing until the middle of it, oh wait a minute, this is the alpha, I haven't actually got any synth material here. I obviously knew it was an alpha, but then I'd sort of forgotten I hadn't actually accumulated any synthetic sort of synth materials, so I could do this or repair an SRV I think I was looking to do at the time. But yeah. Okay. Who's knocking me at the moment? Okay. Let's fly around a bit more. Stop that orca before he gets away. Assuming it's a he anyway. Let's wait to get virtually point blank. Ah, slightly slipped away. He's a bit tougher than he looks, actually. Excellent. Good work. Another dream of riches dashed. Well, to be fair, you're not going to get rich really by sort of, doing piracy around this particular nav beacon. It's not really a great market for it, but yeah. Okay, Mr. NPC, I believe you. Limits to effective range here, really, with this. Oh, he's gone anyway, I think. Yeah, that's cool. purple colour. It's always nice. I'm a fan. Certainly am. I think we're a bit far away from the nav beacon now. I'm going to collect the materials and I'm going to go back towards the beacon in a moment. That makes the most sense. Got a notification Dr. Nagi's just gone live as well, so he's having fun, no doubt. Shout out Dr. Nagi. Nice work, Andrew Linton. You're stopping him in no time at all. Excellent, excellent. Any more materials that I need to get? What if I maxed out some of these? That's why it's not doing very much. Probably just that. Still. Battles to be had. Hulls to be ripped apart. Casually as possible, of course. In a gentlemanly way as possible. Sometimes when I fly the Viper 3, it's a nice little ship. In some ways it looks a bit like an A-Wing from Star Wars, but it's not quite as nice handling as the A-Wing. It's a little bit similar, I suppose, in some ways, but not similar enough for my liking. Out of all the Rebel ships in Star Wars, the A-Wing tends to be my favourite. I think because in most of the Star Wars combat games, it tends to be like the fastest and most manoeuvrable of the Rebel ships. Also, it seems to be kind of more akin to the old Republic era, like Jedi fighters. Having said that, when you watch The Mandalorian and see Luke Skywalker come in, once you see the X-Wing, you know which Jedi it is. It's Luke, isn't it? Couldn't crash into him, that one. It's a shame. How's everyone doing in the stream? What are you up to today, guys, girls, and Thargoids? And non-binary people as well, no doubt. The thing about the Thargoids is, like, you know nothing about them. Do they have internal divisions in their species as well? Are they just, Are they all the same sex? Who knows? Ah, yeah. The fun of home officing. I suppose it depends on how much you liked your actual office, or because some people, they really didn't like their offices, were happy to get away from them. I think there's a lot of studies these days that indicates, maybe not surprising, a lot of people don't want to go back to working in an office again, or at least not as much as they used to. Like, a lot of the companies seem to have moved on to this, like, going in 1 day a week and doing homework the rest of the time. Oh, hey, Vanta Black. So you're actually a Thargoid? You're not the only one. I see a few people out there who claim to be Thargoids or undercover Thargoids. That's cool, Kit. See you in a bit. Right, yeah, wait for my ship to pick up all the goodies that it's collecting. Oh, there's a vulture hanging around. A slightly tougher ship to crack this time. Get a little closer, you know you want to. Haha, bingo. Gonna park myself here for a moment while the limpets catch up. Yeah, I think a lot of people's sort of work patterns have been changed, obviously, by the pandemic, and some most in good ways, some probably not so much. But yeah, I suppose it depends where you are. If you're like living out of a small apartment, it might not be so much fun. If you've got a house and you've got plenty of space and you can have like a separate office, then it's a bit easier. Still, I don't think too much about really serious things. Let's have some fun here instead. Just then the NPC says the boss isn't going to like this. It's like, well, what did you expect, All your ships will come back wrecked or destroyed. No attack from whom? Oh, there's a Type 9 there. That's a nice target. There's a very weak shield on that. A very big target though, isn't it? I don't think I've encountered any elite NPCs today. Usually encountered one by now, but not so far. Okay. Quite near the nav beacon. I haven't strayed very far from it. Well, that should be fine. Emerald Bunko. Yeah, the compromise nav beacons will be fun as well. I mean, that's another one. Depends what you're looking for. This was quite near Shinrata Desert, and I just thought, well, why not, you know? Yeah, I think if you're hunting particularly for, you're trying to get points for combat, you know, to improve your combat rank, I think compromise nav beacons is the best place to go. If you're just looking for materials like I am, then, well, anywhere will do, really, unless you're looking for a very particular kind of system, like an outbreak system, maybe. But I'm not, so, yeah. But yeah, today I'm not really looking for combat rank, so hence why I'm just here and not at a compromise nav beacon. But I admit that I don't spend a massive amount of my time in combat, you know. It's sort of once in a while thing for me. Just to keep my hand in and to keep sort of finding stuff. I might actually also do some other material hunting in a minute, not at this nav beacon, but tracking down various... under attack from what, though? No, you're right, actually, Vanta Black. It's the small ships are very good for like shooting down lots of like elite or deadly sort of sidewinders and, you know, Viper 3s and things like that. Those are always worthwhile. Actually, what I am going to do is I might actually go and try and sort of find materials in other places, not just here, because they get a bit monotonous after a while. And he goes boom. Yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'll collect up my final bits and pieces here at the nav beacon, and then I'll move on. Yeah, like I said, I was about to mention that I'm going to hunt some USSs probably in a moment, because those can be pretty interesting. I mean, it's a bit more of an interesting way of going about hunting material. This can be very kind of useful, but yeah, that definitely has its own thing, especially when you encounter unusual amounts of combat ships, etc. Being very slow at the moment. Not the game, but just the response of the limpets. Oh, there they go. I follow the limpets, really. It's always a good move. They're very sort of bright. I don't know how the limpets actually are going to look in Odyssey, because I haven't actually tried those. I assume that they're there for the functionality is there for them. What other lovely materials are nearby that can be taken? I'm going to do is going to briefly repair and rearm probably at the station, and then head out and find some interesting USSs in a nearby star system probably. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan actually. I'll do these things. Orange Crown Doghouse. Yeah, it's Kirk Dog one I want added to it. I wonder who that could be named after. James T. Kirk, possibly? No, of course not. That's some good names of stations, though. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the reminder, computer. Yeah, I've never actually pursued combat rank that hard. I mean, I have in short bursts, but had other things to do, really. Obviously, combat rank is probably the hardest one to attain in Elite. Trade rank is pretty straightforward these days, especially with mining, and obviously exploration rank is also, again, pretty straightforward with how good exploration payouts are. In some ways, they probably made it a bit too easy to actually get trade and exploration elite. I think myself and some of the more veteran explorers who sort of got elite quite early on in the game's history, it was actually much more difficult to achieve it at that point. People were saying like playing like the iron price, as in like the Game of Thrones sort of terminology, as opposed to paying the gold price. But yeah, it's because I think they improved exploration payouts, but they didn't proportionally like actually change the threshold to get elite for that. The same thing's actually happened, obviously, with mining. Has made it so much easier to achieve trade elite. I mean, it shouldn't be easy to get. I'm not saying it's easy to get those, but it's easier definitely than it was initially. I think combat elite was hard, and it still is kind of quite hard. It's quite a grind to do that. That's not really changed as much, I don't think. Obviously, the payouts have improved a bit for combat recently, the last year, but they're not like radically better. They're sort of, well, they're better, but they're compared to like exploration payouts or mining payouts, they're still quite sort of relatively lame for the risk and versus reward. But I think that's quite commonly said. Obviously, I'm not sort of a PvP or like serious combat player, but obviously a lot of combat players do say just that. And to be fair, that is a fair point, you know. Okay, here we go. Yeah, just a quick in and out, refuel, rearm, and back on the way again. I think I might pick another system for the USSs. Yeah, identify signal sources. There can be a better variety of the outside of Anarchy systems. This is a good question, actually. I'm going to look on the galactic map for nearby systems and see what there is. This might be a good one. Delta Muscat. I don't think I've ever been there. Sounds interesting. Yeah, this might be a good place to go. I have no idea if it is or not, but I will certainly try. Just randomly picking a place, really. Actually, I'm going to sell whatever combat data. Sorry, not combat data. Sorry. I'm going to sell whatever bonds and stuff that I have. Facilities, combat, black market, contact. See what else I've got. I don't think there's anything else I'm selling off from other systems either. I think I paid off all the other ones. Yeah, that's cool. Again, been blowing up random spacecraft, not necessarily wanted one, so it doesn't really matter that much of a difference. Okay, back out again. It's only one jump anyway. Should be there in quite short order. For anyone who's in the chat or the stream wanting to win the Horizons and base game package later on, please follow. A follow is free, and it helps me out enormously. Thank you very much. Okay, Class K star. So how are you doing today, Vanta Black? I hope you're having a good one. Alright, this system. Standard nav beacon. Various odds and sods. First artillery post. Interesting. Mitchell Terminal, maybe after Edgar Mitchell. Are there any USSs in the system at all? Ah, one there. Okay. I'll take that. It's always best, isn't it, probably, if I'm following optimum procedure, to actually keep the shields maximised and weapons on sort of secondary recharge. Topping up on mats. Yeah. It's something good to do, though. I think, as I was saying earlier, it's yeah, especially with Odyssey around the corner, it seems like a good time to do that. I must admit, when I'm in the bubble, I tend to do a certain amount of that anyway, just because it's good to have obviously more materials than you need than wanting them desperately for some engineering project and not having them hanging around, or at least accumulating enough sort of good 4 and 5 grade ones that you can actually trade them for something else that you do really want. Well, that's the thing about trying to also break up the potential grind, is like what I'm trying to do today is like not doing one type of sourcing materials, just doing various different kinds so it doesn't become too boring, too grindy. Because obviously, this is the thing, is like some people say it doesn't become a grind as you make it, but like it can become a bit grindy or repetitive, whatever you want to call it, if you're not careful. What do you have here? Are you wanted? You are. Bye bye. I'll deal with the others in a minute, but this one is a priority. It's very bright, that is, isn't it? That's one of the reasons I've sort of changed the lighting system, obviously, for Odyssey. No, that's absolutely a good idea. It's just cut as many high grade materials as you can when you can. Now that's a good point actually about various crystals and things. You can, yeah, obtain materials that way. This thing just depends where you are, doesn't it? Right, time to move on. I think with the crystal shards and things, yeah, there's various places you can find them. There was one, I think, near the Orion Nebula fairly recently. I found some good ones. It's definitely one of the more pleasant ways of gaining materials that way. Because the crystals look interesting, and yeah, driving around in the SFA can be quite fun. Right, USSs. What have you got for me? For those of you who maybe don't know Elite so well, or it's your first time sort of looking onto a stream about it, USSs are unidentified signal sources. Basically means something that isn't identified as like a ship or a station or something that's like, you know, easily identifiable just to the computer, really. Hence identified signal source. And then you go to identify it by flying towards it and then dropping out a super cruise into real space. When you get near and just checking out what it is, obviously it gives you some idea what it is. Like, it's weapons fire, threat 1. Threat 1's quite low, really. You might find a ship there to oppose you. That might be quite dangerous. You might, again, you won't find that. But if it's like a 3 or a 4, then there's a very high probability, almost certain, you will find a ship there. I think some like the Thargoid ones are like, you know, 6 or 7. I think it goes way up to about 7, I think, the threat scale. I must admit, I'm not an anti-Xeno expert. So, better leave it up to them to give all the information out about that. But as far as, you know, identified signal sources go, this is pretty straightforward. Yeah, I might go to one of those little tourist beacons in a little bit. Looks like they're tourist beacons in orbit of that world. Interesting, the USSs have this sort of time limit. This is like 14-minute countdown, so it'll disappear basically before that time. So here we go. I'm about to drop into real space again. Okay, what do you do, these guys? I think these might be innocent parties. Sometimes you get someone attacking an innocent party, though, so that can happen as well. Oh, he's not innocent. He's definitely not gonna get away with that. Let's wait for the scan, no matter how guilty you think they may be. I think I may have already gone to hyperspace, actually. Sorry, FSD drive. to confirm that. Actually, maybe he hasn't. It's clean anyway. I'll leave it at that. Cool, cool. Pick up what materials remain. Pretty standard stuff. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I think as we were saying earlier, it's a matter of like making like material hunting not into a chore, so that it's, you know, as fun as possible, or at least as non-annoying as possible. Minimise the sort of tedium of it. And to be fair, I don't mind material hunting anywhere as much. I say out of all the activities in the league, I think the one I find the most tedious is mining, but I'm not the only one. Yeah. I'll track the hard points and I'll be on my way shortly. I suspect I might have actually maxed out on the storage space for some of these materials, like shield emitters, galvanizing alloys, because it's not collecting them anymore. Probably quite a good sign that it is. Okay, wonderful. Remember to attract your scoops. And that's not a euphemism. Not a euphemism at all. Right. Illicit cargo. What am I carrying that's illicit? Oh, a stolen limpet. I'll just eject that. I don't need that. Got enough limpets as it is already. I don't need a stolen one. How weird. Okay, fair enough. Right. This is not the most USS riddled system, which is slightly surprising. I thought it would have been, but apparently not. I'm going to jump somewhere else, maybe. This is not very active a place. Maybe here, Boom Industrial System? Corporate one? Yeah. I think ones that basically in states of upheaval tend to be more likely to have USSs anyway. Ones in Boom, I'm trying to remember at the back of the top of my head how that actually affects the amount of USSs generated or not, as the case may be. All the systems are in Boom right now. Here, the state is none. Maybe that's why. Yeah, let's jump into here. I've never been here before by the looks of it, so... One of those weird things says run by the power play faction of Torval, but the thing is, she's an Imperial and it's a federal system. There's always that weird thing going on where it's like run by one side, but the power play sort of person is, you know, of the opposite side of the Cold War, as it were, the slow Cold War. And a warm welcome to you who are just joining the stream. Commander Yannick. We are here hunting cool materials for trading or for engineering, really. Trading to get better engineered stuff, but you know, everyone needs engineering, whether you're an explorer, whether you're a pew pew artist, a PvP person, trader, etc. It's always great to have improved ship systems, weapons, FSDs, hulls, you name it, really. We're looking for identified signal sources that could lead us to good engineering materials, and this is one such. The idea is having a better armed ship like this, I might be able to actually just jump into, even fairly dodgy situations in USSs and not be blown to pieces by enemy ships. Yeah, this is alright. Encoded emissions. I don't think obviously any opposition. There's a threat 0. They don't tend to have any opposition at all. But it's useful for... encoded usually means there's something to scan there as well, so you get a bit of data also to trade in future. Or to use, let's say, in your engineering projects, with various engineers throughout the galaxy. Because these days it really is throughout the galaxy. You've got engineers in Colonia, you've got engineers in the bubble or near bubble space. Sitting in the bubble, drinking my bubble tea. As you do. Drinking in 0G must be a strange experience. He seems to become globulized, little sort of spheres of liquid. Apparently it's actually easier to eat and drink than you would think in 0G. I believe them. But yeah, it doesn't seem a particularly natural experience. I think your digestive system kind of gets used to it after a while. Okay, deploy the collector limpets. And then find the encoded materials. I can't see it at the moment. Maybe I'm not close enough. It's usually like a remnants of a spacecraft that you can scan or something similar. Maybe I'm missing something. It's like a wreckage of a spacecraft of some kind. No, I can't see it actually. Maybe there isn't one here. Not to worry. I'll just leave it at that. It doesn't particularly matter that much. I'll just move on to the next place and I'll be fine. Clear the debris field and jump away. Not much wreckage on that one, obviously a small ship that's been destroyed. Sometimes you'll see quite substantial portions of a recognisable ship like an Anaconda or something that's been blown up. Civil genetic solutions. I could visit a Has-Res or a Res. I wanted to go seriously pew-pewing for PV sort of points and what have you, but not yet. I'm not looking for that today. Where are you all? Where have you all gone? There's one previous that I did see, and it seems to have vanished. USSs, that is. Scrappy, huh? Scrappy Dappy Doo? Where are you? No, it seems to disappear for some reason. That's a bit of a shame. Having said, they do tend to regenerate and spawn some more. Just give it a few minutes, at least a few seconds. Going back to the middle of the system. Worst comes to the worst, I just jump again and see what happens. Bound to be one along in a minute. So yeah, if not, I do have the choice to always jump further afield. They also need to cluster around planets for some reason. Sometimes they're not, but it does vary a certain amount. Found a few fleet carriers here. Not the most amazing of systems, but it's not exactly overrun by fleet carriers either. It's interesting seeing them again after not seeing them at all in Odyssey. Then again, it is only an alpha test, isn't it? So I can't expect everything. Where are you now? Where have you gone? Do wonder if also the sheer number of has-reses or reses generally have actually affects the number of USSs generated. I don't know if it does actually. There's one. See, it's near a planet. Aha, there you go. Interesting degraded emissions. I'll try that. It's worth a shot. Oh, nice, nice, nice. If anyone's lurking in the chat, come and say hi. We're all a friendly bunch of people. I think most people in Elite are pretty friendly, actually. You get some people who aren't, but it's like, hey Falcon. Yeah, I was meaning people who hadn't said hi before, but you know, it's always good to hear from you. Because I think we're always going to get some people who are interested in playing Elite but have never played it before, and are like checking it out to see what it's like. I must admit, I have done that for other games as well. Just looked up streams of people playing it just to see, obviously, you know, because you go to various like promo videos of a game, you're only getting like the edited highlights, really. Okay, if you get a demo of it, wonderful, but it's always nice to see it being played by somebody who knows what they're doing. Hope I know what I'm doing. No, I do really, but joking aside. Okay. Been remarkably safe for the identified signal sources today. It's only been a one that there's been any kind of opposition at all. Consumer technology. I think there's a bunch of canisters. I don't really want those. Actually, sod those. I'm getting out of here. I don't want those at all. I'm not here for a trading trip. I wanted just some good materials generally. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with all this kind of black market nonsense. If I wanted to do that, then fair enough. But that's not what I'm here to do. Just to gain engineering materials, really. Yeah, I don't care. I'm going away. Oh, that's a good point, Kit. Exactly, yeah. It's a good way to learn things by watching streams and obviously YouTube videos too. Yeah, you're right. I think combat particularly because it can be quite sort of complicated and sort of intricate at times. So yeah, that's a good one. It's good to watch what other people are doing. It's like a lot of things, though. You can learn a lot from watching other people do them competently. For anyone who is interested in playing Elite, I do recommend it. It's a good game. It's not maybe the quickest one to pick up or the easiest one, but it is worth the effort, and it does have an amazing community attached to it. And there's so many people I know who play Elite who wouldn't have kept playing for as long as they have done if it wasn't for the great community. I mean, it is an excellent game in its own right, but just the longevity of it's kind of massively increased by the community and what the community does for each other. It's sort of very mutually supportive, that people go to help each other. Hey Bad Cops, how's it going? That's a good point about Red Dwarf there, about Lister and Rimmer and the escape pod, you know. Yeah. That's a good point, Vanderblack, actually, as well, about it isn't just steep, it's a learning cliff. Yeah, it can be. I think it's become easier over time, though. I think the tutorials actually based in the game are a lot better than they used to be. They're actually, yeah, reasonably decent now. But yeah, you're right, it's still a learning curve. I think particularly, it depends on your background very much. I mean, if you've played a lot of Space Sim kind of games, then it's a bit easier to pick up than if you hadn't. Same goes for Flight Sims as well. If you've played a lot of those, it's a bit easier to pick it up. But if you haven't played much of either of those kind of simulations, then yeah, it can be quite tough. But I think, obviously, a lot of people do take it up as the challenge that it is, and I think Elite does have like one of the widest range of ages that play it. I'm not talking about the average age, I'm talking about like the oldest and youngest of the players that I've heard of. I think like Call of Duty's got quite a big one as well, but yeah, Elite's definitely like literally from like 7 to 70, or people older than 70. I think the oldest person I've heard playing the game was like 84 or something. Can't be many 84-year-olds playing it, but there is a fair few people in their 70s, I think, who do play it. I've heard quite obviously a lot of teenagers play it too, so you've got everybody in the middle. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Kit. I know you've mentioned it before about FPS games and the Odyssey FPS elements. Yeah, exactly, more of a challenge because not really things that you're particularly familiar with, and it's like, yeah, that happens, doesn't it? Okay, I'm in the middle of a 4 risk area, if you want to call it, or 4 risk ISS, USS. Got ISS on the brain. I've been looking into it a bit recently, all the various things that have been going on. He's manoeuvring a lot. I did wonder, because you're wanted. That's why. Just because you've chosen death as I'm literally destroying his ship. It's like, well, it's not a very smart thing to say, is it? Ah, he's also wanted as well. Yeah. No, that's fair enough, Falcon. What particularly didn't you like about it? Or was it just more of like a general sense of not, being just liking what you saw, really? I think my own personal sort of view of Odyssey has been because it's an alpha test. It's got bits of it that I'm not really sure about, but overall, I think it's worth getting. Oh, he escaped. Damn it. Oh well. I drove him away. The old hard points retracting. Yeah, I do agree, Falcon, that the station layout is all pretty similar and a very sort of... It's almost identical in most of the stations that I've seen. I haven't been through that many stations, to be honest, in Odyssey, but I see other people's stuff as well. But yeah, you're right. They are quite samey. But a kit, yeah, I mean, I think that's more so what I was thinking, is just that the space legs on foot thing on planets is just, you know, I think that's a really good element of it. And there's some elements of the new terrain stuff that worked really well. The new sort of lighting and stuff. Obviously, that's going to be backported into Horizons anyway. Yeah, sort of non-atmospheric world stuff, the airless world stuff's going to be backported into Horizons. So, yeah. I mean, allegedly, there's a lot of... Well, according to Frontier anyway, there's a lot of technology they left out of the alpha, like the terrain generation. I was thinking that... Okay, hence that's why it's an alpha test rather than a beta test. I get it now. And also some of the light scouting technologies. And these are quite key things, actually, about the update. But then again, it's like it fits the theory quite well that the actual release of Odyssey for the first few months is going to be basically a public beta without being called a public beta. It's just they're not going to call it that because they don't want to put anyone off, but it's like, yeah, this is going to be for a few months just working out all the bugs, all the issues. But yeah, I will definitely do more streams, obviously, when the full Odyssey comes out. I'll do streams anyway, but you know, it's yeah, I'll be looking for answers to all the questions that people may have. Hey, Mutty. Yeah, it's an interesting thing about entering it under fire. I think at the moment there's also, you don't actually see the commander enter the ship, you just do and you hear the noise. I wonder if that's actually going to be included in the full release, or are they just going to leave it as it is? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the Phantom Black. I've been thinking something similar about the binds. There's like, I think quite a few people I know have thought the same thing. It's this time in the alpha test is a good time to work out what your bindings are going to be, because it will save you a lot of time when Odyssey proper comes out. I can't say that I've actually got all my bindings as I would like them. I've got them working in like a general sense, but I don't know if it's like the most efficient way of doing everything. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the motto, isn't it? Like, a lot of people have said this, and I understand, and I do agree, actually, that it's a big shame that they haven't done ship interiors yet. I mean, I understand, like, the rest of the ship outside the bridge, but the bridge itself, you can't walk around that. I mean, it would be good if they at least said, like, okay, we're going to do, like, the bridge to start with, and maybe, like, one other place in the ship, and then leave the rest of it to some future update, or, like, the next revision of Odyssey when it comes out, because Odyssey is going to be like apparently like Horizons, and Beyond was spooned out in little bits over time. Those all these sorts of, was it like 2.1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Depends what was in the interior actually as well. I mean, if it was like a fully functional ship where you could change things, yeah, it really would depend, wouldn't it? If it was like things that you could do in it, like science and astronomy related things, it might be quite interesting. But it so much depends on the way that they do it. Or like when you're carrying passengers, to be able to like visit the passengers. Stuff like that, really. Actually, Kit, I was about to say that actually about Horizons bindings to foot. I've done something similar. I've tried to make my foot bindings as similar as I can to the SRV ones, because those obviously work quite well for me. But they haven't worked out sort of perfectly. Like the basic control, like movement, is quite similar. but I haven't quite nailed it yet because obviously there's a lot of differences. I think this is always the way, I think, with Elite. There's always something of expectations and things that people want that aren't always going to be there or not going to be there just yet. I think it's with like the way that Frontier developed this game is they have usually done things. It's just taken a while to get there. Like at this point, we've got space legs and thin atmospheres, but it's literally years and years after it was originally planned, and that's by Frontier's own sort of schedule. So they're actually quite a way behind their own schedule. I know maybe it possibly wasn't realistic in the first place to do that, but yeah, better late than never, I suppose. I'm going to visit Blue Cops Estate to see what that is. That sounds... It's probably just a station or something, but I want to see... This is always the interesting thing about different elements of... component elements of Star Citizen, No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous together, because obviously there's always been this sort of three-way debate about different things of those games and like what's good and what isn't. Like a lot of people have recently been mentioning about, you know, the plants and the new plants in Odyssey and their generation. How that, you know, No Man's Sky has done a much better job of the procedural generation. I mean, I think there's probably some truth in that. It's like they seem to do generate a greater variety of fauna. I mean, I don't actually own No Man's Sky. I just like watch a lot of videos about it, so I know something about it. But I've not really like evaluated it properly, so I can't give, you know, any kind of in-depth opinion about it. Yeah, it's interesting. So you want to get some pedals for control of the spacecraft as well, as in like your pedals, basically. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, well, that's the thing about it. You don't have to go around exactly like No Man's Sky. I was just using like procedural generation of that because procedural generation could obviously follow certain rules and certain sort of kind of templates that it does within that kind of template, if you see what I mean. So there's more than one way of doing it, but yeah. I was just thinking like is there something like there's less than like 40 different, you know, permutations or something of different plants in Odyssey, and that doesn't seem very much for a galaxy of 400 billion stars. So hence the sort of procedural generation or part procedural generation, maybe. Yeah, I agree. Like kind of weird-looking plants definitely would be good. Because some of them don't look really that strange, but that sounds quite realistic. In the galaxy, maybe you'd get some things that seemed quite familiar looking, but other things that were just utterly weird. And that would be cool. But just finding these things, going out to alien worlds and finding different kinds of forms of life is what a lot of people want in exploration, particularly. Just something interesting to discover. Or even like permutations or variations on existing forms, existing kind of plants and structures. I'm only talking about plants, not planets. But yeah, I mean, planets are procedurally generated anyway. Apart from the ones that are fixed in the game, like the Sol system and a few others. I think procedural generation so far for planets has been pretty decent. Obviously, not actually seen what they've got in as far as the Odyssey ones are concerned, because we've not seen any new generated planets. But they're regenerating old planets anyway under the Horizons kind of airless worlds are all going to be regenerated. Blue Corpse Estates. It's probably something quite mundane, but the name intrigued me, so I had to come and look. They're very sparse-looking rings, these. This isn't a landable world either. Yeah, that's it. It's about sort of biodiversity, isn't it? But I mean, trying to generate something, a new plant or a new species that looks kind of plausible, even if it's a bit weird. And it's not an easy thing to do, I will admit. The terrain generation, I understand is... I've heard more about that, basically. Unsurprisingly, a lot of it from Dr. Ross's various talks and streams over the years. Now, this is an odd-looking station. It's not like ridiculously odd, but it's slightly unusual, especially with the sort of 3 inward-looking domes on the end of the stalks there. Sort of separate from the rest of them, the station. Yeah, I quite like that, actually. It's definitely unusual. Don't think it's a dockable station, as far as I'm aware. If we can fly through this, probably can. Yeah, the interior is already there on the bridge, but only in the bridge and certain sections of it as well. Some of the rest of it is just completely barren. How big these holes are, you can fit a Corvette through the middle of them. Awesome. Wonder what these guys want. They'll tell me to go away. I thought something happened when I was looking at this random station. They said I had committed some kind of violation and had to leave. I was like, well, that's friendly, isn't it? Doesn't find attacking them or anything. It's a good view, though. I mean, look out the rings. Interesting place to work. Or like a frozen world with all these rings. Who's rich? Elon Musk. I'm rich in game, but not in real life. Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. Did wonder for a second. I thought there's something I've missed, or is like the chat like crashed for a second, and there was a bit that I missed out on. That was it. Mohammed bin Khalifa. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's a good look. Definitely. I wonder what they want. I mean you no harm. I think. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily expect the station to be that great, but it is actually. This is one of the better stations out there I've seen. In itself, it's cool, but it's also where it is. I mean, that's a nice view. The way you cut it, it's a nice view. Okay, right. I'm going to go for a break for a few minutes. It'd be a good time if you wanted to get a tea or something. And I will see you all back in about 5 or so minutes. And we're back in the room. And here we are. This lovely looking system. This random spacecraft flying the Star Beast. It's a good name. Right, before anything else happens, best to get the competition out of the way. Bear with me a moment, because I say I haven't actually done this with the software before. If it all goes as planned, it will be able to pick a random person, I think, from this. And it should all be good. But yeah, bear with me for a moment while I do that. Yeah, say it is the base game in Horizon they're giving away. If you already got, obviously, Elite, they can use it as an old account. If you haven't, well, then welcome to Elite. And this is your opportunity. People actually got it in the chat at the moment. Is it 7 or 8 or something, I think. Gets actual reliable numbers on this, because I think with Twitch sometimes it gives you like different readings of actually the number of people around depending on which one you're looking at, which I'm not quite sure is like why it is different. You know, it never really explains as to how it can be different, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. It is whatever it may be. Great philosophical statement. Okay. How many users are in chat right now? So slow today, I'm sorry about this. Okay, cool. Right, it should randomly pick one. Did everything right? Nothing's happening yet? Oh, come on, computer, come on. This isn't funny. Gotta laugh, really. That's the way of things, isn't it? You try it when no one's there and it works fine, and then you try it on the stream and it doesn't seem to be working at all. Oh, dearie me. Who's scanning me now? Okay, I'm just going to have to ignore that bot because it's just not working, is it? Or if it's going to work, it's moving very slowly. God damn it. Oh, why do I bother with those stupid things? I'll just pick someone randomly from the chat. In that case, okay. I'll see only 1 star. How do you pronounce that? If you're still listening in the chat, come forward to claim your prize. Say hi if you're there. I'll type that in the chat as well, just in case they're paying attention. Oh, I say it's Ace Lone Star. That's what it's squashed together. It looks. Not sure how to pronounce that. Yeah, I'll just keep on flying in a second actually, otherwise it's going to get really dull. Ace turn obviously up to Thermos again. What if they're in the chat they're not responding? This is getting very dull very quickly. I'm going to keep on flying anyway, and if I can get that sorted. If not, then I'll just have to pick somebody else. Yeah, I'll just keep going actually. Right. Leave this place and go somewhere else, even though it's quite nice. Look at that ring, it's just great. I can fly between the rings anyway, so I think I'll just do that. Okay, I'm away again. Yeah, this is not going according to plan, is it? The software doesn't work, and then eventually I find somebody they're unresponsive as well, so I don't know what to do. Apparently, according to this Dr. Nagi, he's playing Star Citizen at the moment. I didn't even realise he had Star Citizen, but there you go. Fair play. Yeah, gaps in the rings. That's cool. Yay. That's nice. I do like the rings, they're sort of very beautiful in all the versions of Elite. Something else of interest in the system I was checking out earlier on. Friend installation. Nice. Then in more USS I'll try one more, but I think I'll leave it at that afterwards. Not much else going on in the system right now. It's be quite low key right now. Still. Well, Falcon, the idea was I suppose to actually give away as a sort of sort of competition prize, as it were, the Elite base game and Horizons, and I was supposed to get somebody to do. But the guy who I picked randomly has not responded so far. But yeah, it's but in terms of in-game plan, yeah, I'm just going to keep on looking for materials. But I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go to the Sol system instead and do some planetary stuff there with an SRV. I'm going to go via Chanel to Desra though, I think. Because this one hasn't got an SRV bay in it. I might use a smaller ship actually. In that case, I might use a courier or something. Still, it's better than nothing. Ooh, there's a CG going on at the moment. I haven't been paying much attention to that, so. Back to Chanel Desert I go. Unfortunate. It's not that hot. Calm down, computer. It's not that bad. It's a bit oversensitive, is the computer. So you can't actually change that. I could turn it off completely, I suppose. Nobody's been paying attention at the moment. It's annoying. Well, more annoying that the fact that software's failed more than anything else. I shouldn't complain too much though. Apologies, everybody. This is had unfortunately one of those days where almost everything seems to have failed, which is just annoyingly predictable. Still, I'll just crack on as best I can. I might switch to the courier actually, or another smaller ship to actually go to the Sol system for SRV material hunting. Right, K. Jameson Memorial. Here we go again. I don't think I actually visited all these tourist beacons around Shinata Desru. Kept meaning to, but never really got round to it. That's probably something for a future stream, I reckon. Because not everyone has access to this, I suppose. A lot of people do now, I suppose, but not everybody. It's probably worth a go. Here we go again. Okay, I'll switch ships pretty quickly and then crack on with it. Oh, that's more like it. Something that actually works properly. Right, I think the courier might be the best one for this because it's just nice and fast. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh, actually, I've got loads of limpets on board, haven't I? I forgot about that. Better offload those before I do anything else. Easily forgotten how much I was actually carrying of those. Oh well, not to worry. Could use that, but yeah, courier's just so much more fun. Okay, but I get on my way. Right, okay, now should I get back on track? What's the best place for this? I think, yeah, going to the Sol Systems was the best place to get surface materials. In this sort of core anyway. Well, core of the bubble. It's not Jebel, so Sol System was it. Ah, god damn it. Which place would be the best on the... let's go to Enceladus. Try it there. Not many jumps, I think. Only 2 to Sol. It's acceptable. Good question. If he doesn't respond soon, I have to pick somebody else. There's no obvious contact details for him, that's the thing. There's like a Twitter, but... Yeah, I've sent in Elitist the inner moons of Saturn. Seems like a good target. If he doesn't respond soon, I'm going to have to go to somebody else because I want to get it out of the way by the end of today. Supposed to be looking in-stream thing. Who knew this was so hard? I just want to give him something. It's an interesting point, Kit, having two other accounts. I think when it gets to a certain point that you've got so many accounts you don't really use them anymore, it's very difficult to sort of administer them all. I mean, I've got 3 and I hardly use the third. I've only ever used it really because the other 2 have been away on expeditions at the same time, and there's like a sort of bubble sort of representative, as it were, or to check out things in the bubble that I needed to. But yeah, using 2 accounts, having like a realistic amount of, you know, engineering and good stuff on them. The thing is, with Twitch, I don't think there's any way of like DMing people that I'm aware of. It said that I've never really tried. I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know if anybody else knows that it's possible to sort of contact people within the structure of Twitch itself. Oh, I see. The private investigate. I didn't actually know that. Yeah. Ah, Saturn, the rings of the beautiful large gas giant. I think Frontier solar system sort of recreation's pretty decent. Let's say if I click on a random commander in the text, what does it show me? What messages have been shown? And okay, I think this is a landable anyway. I have to concentrate on landing to start with, then I'll deal with all the other stuff in a minute. Yep. Anywhere is a good site to set down, I reckon, around here. It's not a very big world anyway, is it? Awesome. Anywhere around here looks good. It's pretty low G, I'm assuming. Low key, low G. Okay. Some 3 kilometers high. It's a slight inclination, this. At the moment, I'm not looking for any like specific materials. I'm just know these places are quite good for like some of the rarer ones. I think there's like a range of them on different worlds. I think at the back of my mind, remembering this place is actually quite good for some of the rarer ones. I mean, I think the point is that all the solar system worlds seem to yield a lot more of them than you would expect. Okay, apparently private messages on Twitch are called whispers. That makes some sense. I didn't know that before. This is nice and, well, relatively flat, I suppose. So it'll probably make a good place. Anywhere around here is good. So I think with a space car with powerful thrusters, you're going to be slightly careful about bringing them down too quickly. And we're down. That's a good view. I like that a lot. Actually, I'm going to go to external camera for a second before I do anything else, because that's a nice view. It's beautiful, really. Yeah, it's definitely worth a snapshot, I think. Don't think I can actually send private messages to people unless I'm already friends with them, which is a bit of a bummer in many ways. So how am I supposed to get in contact with somebody who's literally not responding and I can't actually message them in game? Not in game, sorry, in Twitch. This is problematic, to say the least. I'll get my SRV out in the meantime anyway. It's got to be worth more than just sitting around. Okay, back out. As always, it's best to dismiss your ship if you're really looking for materials and you don't want any false positives. Get rid of it. Ask for it back later on. Actually, I'm going to move in the direction of Saturn only because it's just more fun that way. Awesome. Ah, there's something over there. Okay. Yeah, so someone is looking at Switch, but then again, it's like if they actually want to get into the game, this might be a good way. But at the moment, I'm trying to concentrate on finding them just in Twitch. They've got an account here, obviously, but it's not responding. Got some tungsten, some chromium, some zinc. Yeah, tungsten is very useful. Interesting that the SRV can move just as easily with the cargo scoop out than it does with it retracted, which is very difficult. Sorry, very different to the ship, which just doesn't do that at all. It's always slower. Chromium, got a lot of that, but I'll take what I can get anyway. Got less zinc than I anticipated, but that's fine. It's okay. Keep going, I think. I'll have to befriend the guy first before I do that. Assuming it's a guy. Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. I keep the scoop out now. It just seems to make more sense that way. Just keep it deployed. Friend. I think you need to add someone as a friend before you can whisper at them. I'll leave that. Yeah. slight dilemma for me actually. It's like if I can't get in contact with this guy by the end of the stream, I'd probably morally obligated to keep trying to offer it to him. But if I can't get in contact with him, what am I supposed to do? You know. Definitely sacrifice a bit of shield for this. So low grip on these worlds. Ice world. With an SRV. Low gravity. Equals 0 grip. Just the way of it. Just the way it is. You can fly quite a long way. That's the good thing. Aha. Touchdown just in time. At least with Saturn being there, it's kind of obvious where to go. Or at least you know you're going relatively in the same direction. Some good zinc. Manganese. See, so low gravity, it's taking ages for them to actually come down. It's 0.01 G. Oh, that's amazing. Like, just wait till they come down. Can try and catch them on the way down as well. Oh, yeah. We've got enough sulfur anyway, but I'll take that. Sulfur's so easy to find. It's like one of the grade 1 simple materials, isn't it? Very easy to get hold of. Manganese is pretty common as well. Cool. Nearly skidded all over the place there. Easier to fly on this definitely than most other places. Always use the thrusters for braking wherever possible. Obviously advice to those of you who've been around for a while, but not someone who's starting out probably. Okay. Ooh. Just going in a straight line sometimes hard in this SRV. Sulfur I'm not that bothered by, but having said that, those are kind of a bit rubbish as well. So I'm going to ignore those and go over here instead. Okay. Phosphorus, maybe? It's not that useful, but it's okay. I guess I've got a lot of it already. Actually, I could just ignore that and go straight forward, I suppose, but not that it really matters. Ah, goody, another one. Weirdly enough, I say that it has better yield for high-grade materials here. It usually does, except for when I'm streaming it, which it doesn't all of a sudden. Oh well. Just keep going. Flying sideways was quite amusing in this. Look how easy this SRV is actually pushed away by little rocks, or disrupted by little rocks. And the big ones, it's understandable, but the ones that are just absolutely puny. Ahoy. There it is. Yeah, that's not great actually for materials. Definitely Sod's Law today, I'm afraid. Ah, there's another radar contact over here. See a fairly strong one in this direction. Ah, to go flying through the air again. Slightly disappointing today, the haul. Got a couple of things with some tungsten early on, that was pretty good. Better keep going. Okay. Crack this one open and see what it has inside. It's like a sort of weird cosmic Easter egg, but usually not as yummy. I'll take the zinc. That looks good. Always up for a good bit of zinc. It's still in the air. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's taking ages to get down. Oh, dearie me. Okay, that's better. Okay, onwards. Amazing how strong the front of this SRV is compared to the rest of it. Now I'm flying sideways through the air, as you do. Oh dear. Well, at least that was fun. Kind of spectacular. Ah, that's beautiful. It's a nice looking planet, this, anyway. I can definitely say that with fear of contradiction. No, it's pretty rubbish, that. Fly as far as you possibly can until the thrusters cannot do that anymore. Okay. No, I don't want sulfur, that's not good. Nickel, maybe? Still got a lot of that going on, though. See, the actual number of the rocks that I'm finding we cracked open is actually quite high. Just for some reason, they're not actually yielding what I thought they would. Chromium? Yeah, I'll take that. Technological signal up ahead might be worth investigating. Yeah, possibly. It's probably some skimmers defending something. But yeah, I'll have a look in a second. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and contact that competition winner in future, because I can't really do it now. I don't think they're online at the moment. Mildly embarrassing. Like the first time I actually run a sort of competition on Twitch, I can't even find the person who's won. Oh dear. I passed it by. I don't know if I passed it by or it's just gotten more diffuse, the signal. It's that one ahead probably, isn't it? Must admit, SRV flying is an art that I have not quite mastered yet. It's getting your SRV angled correctly as well, isn't it? Ooh, it's up to the other side. Over here. Okay, cool. Something here. Ah, some skimmers. Defending some bits and pieces. Mostly on these kind of worlds, it tends to be something technological. Unless it's a settlement, it is almost always skimmers. Having said that, from time to time, I suppose you do find, like, you know, crash structures and things, and bits of ships, and sometimes some empty canisters, or some canisters with stuff in it that isn't guarded by a damn skimmer. I mean, I could fight them, but yeah. Actually, why not? Look good. And I might as well have some fun because, well, yeah, there's lots gone wrong today, sadly, so I might as well have a go. So I can shoot them properly on this. Oh, nice. I didn't realise it was a criminal thing, but, you know, I don't really care. Anyway, let's just try and kill him anyway. Cool. And now what do we have here? If I get out of the perimeter for a second and just scan them anyway. Structural regulators. Domestic appliances. So there's basically like a washing machine I found out here. I'll just take some of the better stuff anyway for myself. I'll regenerate the shield. Redo the hull. Synth that. Ammo restock while I'm at it as well. Repair hull. Yep, sure. We'll do that. SRV refuel, do that too. While I'm here. Okay. Right, now I'll do the same when I go on the other side for the second canister. It's not to hang around in the zone, I suppose. Domestic appliances. Come all this way, and you've just got domestic appliances. What's the other thing that I found was interesting? Oh, that was pretty much it, wasn't it? I'll take that too. I don't really care about the rest of it. Do some flying for a bit. Probably recall the ship now. That's probably a wise move. And then see if I can sell it to the black market. See, those guys went down easier than I thought they would, to be honest. In the past, they've not always been so easy to defeat in such quick order. No, sorry, that's not those skimmers. I'm thinking of the sentinels. Though they can be easily defeated if you do them in the right way. It really depends, doesn't it? Well, if I can't find the guy for today's price, I'm going to have to just pick somebody else. But I'll give him a few days, and then I'll just give it away in the next one if I can't find him within a few days. So yeah, makes the most sense. The ship is approaching, I think. It's landed over there, so that's fine. Bit of drifting. It's always a good thing. And board. I just got to transfer these, haven't I? Oh yeah, that's a good point. Actually, no, I don't want to discard. I want to retain them. Come on, transfer. I've got no cargo rack. I can't transfer. I'd just have to get rid of it. I didn't actually intend to get any cargo today. That's why I've got a cargo rack. Okay. Think about saying ship cargo there for a second. That doesn't matter. I don't really care anyway. I know, black market washing machine. It's just like, why is there such a thing? It makes no sense to me at all. Oh well. Right, and from this particularly nice view of Saturn, I think this may be the most appropriate place to end the stream in just a moment. I'll definitely go and leave this as the sort of final view. Which is very fitting, I think. Let's do a close-in for once rather than a distant one. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, actually. So, yes, absolutely. Okay, it's been a fun Friday, despite the technical issues on the stream. Hope you have a good one as well, Falcon. I was about to say, wish you all a happy Friday and a great weekend. And I will see you all, hopefully, in the next one. I usually do, like, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday now. I tried 5 days a week and I found that a bit much, to be honest. But, yep. Fly safe if you can't fly safe. Have fun anyway. See you all.